Good morning, Kevin. How are we doing today? Morning from South Carolina. I hope you had a great week, Kevin. Starting off a little bit late today because I couldn't get the StreamYards to work. So I can't turn off the camera, so everybody has to watch me smoke when I do. Sorry. Sorry if it triggers you. I am doing great, Kevin. Carla. Good morning, Carla. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a wonderful week this past week, Carla. We are streaming on YouTube this morning because I could not get Streamlabs to work, or StreamYard. It's not StreamYard, I don't use Streamlabs this morning. So everybody has to watch me smoke when I do, because I couldn't get it to work. Said I needed to download some kind of an extension or something like that. I just didn't have time to mess with it this morning. Colleen, good morning. I'm doing great. I had a pretty good week so far. Weekend's not over with yet, but not bad. You'll smoke one with me? Last night we had a private group, I guess you call it, of supporters locally. They're all people here locally. There wasn't, it had nothing to do with those who are online community, but we raised just a little over $2,200 for the next up for Color the Spectrum. Mark Robles did a 3-hour live stream with there's over 30 different guests. I put in the community tab last night, but altogether across the nation we raised a little over $3,400,000 last night. But I was able to help raise just a little over $2,200 for autism. It's to raise money for autism, but not for to find a cure for autism. It's for services for adults, because a lot of people don't really understand when it comes to autism. A lot of the social programs that are in place right now, they end either on the patient's 18th birthday or as soon as the child graduates from high school. There isn't a lot of adult programs out there for teaching life skills and helping with find a job, housing, and once they transition out of high school. RY Gaming, long time no see. How are you doing today, RY Gaming? And I hope you had a great week. Short, nice. Good morning. I wish we could have raised more, but it was a lot of people. The $2,200 that I helped raise, it was a lot of $5, dollar. I think the largest donation we got was $500, but it was all just people here locally within my community. I don't know if anybody out there is a hockey fan or follows hockey, but we did it with a gentleman who is he used to play minor league hockey here where I live, but he went on to, I believe, to play for the Avalanche. I might be wrong about what team he played for professionally. Good morning, Glowworm. But his last name is Kolzig. He was a professional hockey player. He has a foundation for autism, that awareness, and for services for children of autism. But we got together and we kind of helped raise money for it last night and get people involved. Good morning, Gayla. RY Gaming. No, see. Angie Lee. Morning, everyone from Mississippi. Good morning, Angie Lee. Connie Kelly. Good morning, Connie. Hope we all had a great week. Well, Rye Gaming, what was your name before? I don't know if you saw my reply to your comment that you left on my Josh Duggar video, Glowworm. But yeah, you made a comment about it. I was going to probably get backlash because of it's been your history that the people, especially those who are devout Catholic or Christian, give a lot of backlash, especially when one of their own gets knocked down. It was about 10 minutes after I launched that video yesterday. I got my first death threat about 10 minutes afterwards. And then I received several comments, 2 more death threats after that. But one individual he posted something about, like, we need to find this guy and destroy him and his family. I reported them all to YouTube, but yeah, I mean, I knew before I ever released the video that I was going to get backlash for it. I hope you're having an awesome weekend. I am going to. So today, after this stream, I have to shoot a podcast with my wife. We have to do that. And then tomorrow on my other channel that I just started, I'm going to do 2 live streams back to back on how to start your own YouTube channel. Going through everything from taking the perspective of not buying anything at all, just using what you already have in your home and showing you how to shoot a video, how to upload a video, how to, what you have to look at, and actually pay attention to on the dashboard to upload your video, how to pick an actual YouTube channel name, and all that. So it's going to be two videos tomorrow. The first one's at 10 o'clock in the morning. The second one probably about 1 o'clock. Somewhere there, I'm going to give about a 15-minute potty break in between the 2 videos. And then tomorrow night, I've got the true crime trivia tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And we're going to be doing nothing but I'm going to be answering viewer questions and trivia at the same time on Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer. That is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Daylight Time, whatever you want to call it. All because of the Duggar. Angelina, good morning and welcome to the stream. Yeah, well, it's not the first time, Angelina. It happens a lot. The first time I ever got death threats or somebody tried to dox me, well, they actually did dox me at one time. And they tried to swat me, was over Christopher Watts back then. It kind of tailed off for a while. Then I did these series on what's her name? I'm drawing a blank on her name. I can picture her. I can picture her in her stupid smile. It doesn't matter. But then I got some again. It happens. I mean, I live in a gated community now, so they're not going to be able to just send anybody to my house again. And you know, I'm heavily armed, so it'd be probably the wrong thing for them to do to ever, you know, show up at my house. But they do it. Allah Akbar, Mike. But yes, it happens a lot. Kessinger? No. I mean, I got a lot of hate over that. You know, people don't like the facts. They really don't. And I made one video about Nicole Kessinger, dispelling some of the rumors and myths that were out there about where she was and wasn't on the day that Christopher Watts actually killed, you know, his wife and family. There's another channel out there that made a video. I had no idea that they were making the video at the same time, and that creator actually turned it into a giant shitstorm. Excuse my language, but they made it out that I was trying to discredit what they did, so they turned their community on me, and I guess I probably didn't help any there, because I went to their comment section and I said, "Hey, I never said that. I never tried to discredit you," and which just started a whole stream of people, you know, going after me. Angela, because of the break and awake, etc. That's ridiculous. Kessinger. Jody Aries. That's who it was. Jody Aries. Thank you. Okay, I picture her stupid smile. But Jody Aries, they hated that. I received many death threats when I was a police officer. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Gayla. I really am. I couldn't tell you how many times, you know, me and my wife would be with my her father, you know, my father-in-law, and you know, he was always on a heightened alert, and it's sad. I mean, you can't even take a family vacation. You can't even go out to dinner, nothing, because you never know who's going to be, you know, around the next corner. And he really was in fear of his life a lot, because you know, during his time as a corrections officer and a patrol officer. Well, he was a patrol officer with Multnomah County, but it got pretty bad, you know, and it didn't get any better when he moved into parole. I seriously doubt it too. But I've been cloned, doxxed badly, trolled over the watch channels where I mod. Sorry, Angelina. You know, I never gotten into that. You know, hey guys, the golf course finally called me back after a day and a half. That was them calling. Tried to call and make a tea time, and I left a voicemail, and they're just now finally calling me back a day and a half later. I need the tea time for today. Sorry about the phone ringing though. Well, I have in total, Angelina, I have 6 moderators between Facebook, um, and the YouTube channels. So I have 6 moderators total. Plus, I have another friend. She kind of moderates, but she watches my Twitter feed. And whenever she something comes up or somebody tags me or says something, in on Twitter that is well, yeah, Twitter's a whole other ballgame. But she, whenever she sees something that that somebody tagged me in or talks about me, or mentions me on Twitter or my channel or my content on Twitter, she emails me, and then I she screen shares it with me, and then I if it's something I feel like it needs to be removed, and then we sent out cease and desist removal requests through Twitter. But Twitter is such a weird ball game in itself. Half the time, if you put things on Twitter, you never know if they're going to stay, because the Twitter system itself just removes things. Sorry, an eyelash or something that's in the corner of my eye. The most of my I was going to say that most of my moderators, you never see them. They're there. They're just there. They do their job in the background, and they do a damn good job, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm really appreciative of what they do. It's a crying shame. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Inner Peas, good morning. Mandy Hall, good morning. I hope you all had a great week. Well, I had no issues at all until Facebook flooded YouTube after the Netflix newbies. Are you talking about the Netflix special on Christopher Watts? Why would anybody hate you? You're like a mystery writer? I don't know. Keyboard warriors. They don't think that they're ever going to be held accountable for their actions or what they say online. That they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want, behind a keyboard and a screen. It's the way it is. It happens. Good morning, Reichardt. How are you doing this morning? Yep, lots. Do stay in the background with Scott Reich. and he's okay with that. But others want the I love Scott's content though. You should have seen it yesterday. The other day when they had the Lori Vallow, not the Vallow, but the Chad Daybell hearing. I was watching it live, and as soon as I got done watching that, I was just like, that was, oh my God, I can't believe we just got screwed like that. And he was thinking the same thing as I was. We were both like, well, didn't that just suck? Here we are, streaming it or watching it live, for our channels, to let everybody know what's going on. It was a complete disappointment. But I like Scott. Scott's a good guy. We have a lot of similarities between me and Scott. We both served in the United States Marine Corps. He went on to become a lawyer. I became friends with a lawyer who's now a sitting judge. But we both got into this true crime thing, and it wasn't anything that we necessarily wanted to be involved in or do, but it interests us. And I can't type today. My point was I stay in the background when I can. Others, people want to see mods and interact. Yeah, I understand that though. I mean, Inner Peace, she's got the wrench, here on YouTube. There's what, four mods on YouTube. I'd have to actually, yeah, four mods on YouTube and 2 on Facebook, and then I have my friend who kind of moderates and watches the content on Twitter. But I understand that though. People, some channels want their moderators to be there, and interact with the community. I guess everybody has their own idea of what they really need and what they want. It's a crying shame, and nothing happened with Lori Daybell. It was a hearing on Chad Dumbbell. About 90% of what we thought was going to happen in the Zoom stream, in court, they did behind closed doors. So we won't find out that information until after the case is over with, because it's going to be sealed between now and then. So we won't be able to get any documentation for it. And basically, in a nutshell, evidence that has been sent in for examination they came back from the state crime lab that they may be able to extract blood evidence or DNA from the actual items. They found blood. They wouldn't say which apartment, but blood evidence was found in one of the apartments, either Lori Vallow's or Alex Cox's. There was blood evidence that it may have, or DNA that was found on tools that belonged to Chad Daybell that were in the outbuilding, the red building that is on his actual property. So, and they argued apparently behind closed doors. Mr. Pryor wants an independent, he wants a complete sample of everything that they've taken, and so he can send it to his independent examiners. But some of the samples are so small, there's not enough for them to split the sample in 2 to send to one lab, and then the state crime lab tests the other. So they've agreed to come to an agreement. If they can't, then they're going to have another court hearing and more motions. It's just like this case. That case just keeps on dragging on and on and on. When are we ever going to get to a point where we're going to have any kind of justice for JJ or Ty Lee or Tammy or Charles or Joseph? mouse here. I'm convinced the husband in the Morphew case is innocent, and she just left. I don't know, Mike. That's an interesting take on it, but I don't know what, I don't think Suzanne Morphew just decided to pick up and walk away from her life. I think if she was going to do it, she could do it. I will give you that. She could have possibly done it. She had enough money saved and put away that she could have done it. But I think if she was going to do it, she would have told her daughters. I think she would have done that at the very least. She would have just said, "All right, I'm leaving," and so her kids didn't have to worry about her, and then let him fry in the frying pan, while with the police and everything else. But do I think that that Barry had anything to do with it? That's hard to say. I mean, we know that he's lied about a couple of things, or been not as truthful as he could have been. But it's kind of hard to say what anyone would do in that situation with the spotlight and everybody beating down on you and calling you a murderer before they've even proven that she was really missing. But I don't know. Yeah, Inner Peas, I agree with you. I hope Suzanne is okay, but the more time that goes by, the less likely that's the outcome. She never made any hints or anything. At least nobody's talking about it. Where she said she wanted to walk away from her life, but it does happen all the time. People do just pick up and walk away. They just leave everything behind and get on a Greyhound bus, and go 150 miles, 3,000 miles, whatever, and start over afresh. It happens. It happens a lot, actually. A lot of people just disappear all the time because they don't want to be found. They're like, what? I'm tired of my life, and the only way they see to start over is to leave everything that they had behind. Good morning, Toxic Orchid. Anita Butts, good morning. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody. There's Mary. Good morning, Mary. How are you doing, sweetheart? I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Well, thank you, Connie Kelly. I appreciate that. Woke up in Gallup, New Mexico this morning. How's everyone doing? Thanks for the info, Will. I don't know where Gallup, New Mexico is, but I hope I've been to New Mexico, several times, but I'm not sure where Gallup is. At least right now, off the top of my head, it's not ringing a bell. And good morning, Sherry A. The weight of the world on your shoulders, brother. Yeah. Well, good, Mary. I'm glad you made it up to the community garden. That's good. Georgia Ritchie, good morning. How are you doing, Georgia Ritchie? I hope you had a great week. We are streaming directly on YouTube today, so I can't turn off the camera at any point to smoke. So if it's going to trigger you, I'm sorry, but have a great day. I can't turn the camera off. I guess I could throw a towel or something over it, but I don't want to knock it off the tripod. Dude, my boss didn't even have a car. Learned so much there. No, I don't. I don't think so either. Toxic Orchid. I don't really think that if she was going to walk away from everything, if Suzanne Morphew was going to walk away, I really do. I don't see her in as much as and as close as she was with her girls. I just don't see that as a possibility for her to just walk away from them and not and have them go through the despair of not knowing where their mother is. I don't think she'd want to ever do that to them. She may have said, you know what, Barry's an asshole. I'm tired of this guy, and I want to, I want to live my life the way I want to, without anybody controlling me, or telling me what to do, or moving me across the United States for no reason. If maybe she wanted to go back home, maybe she wanted to do that. If she was going to do it, she could have done it in a lot of different ways. That's why I don't think that she did it. I don't think she just picked up and walked off, without telling her daughters or anybody else. Okie dokie. Good morning, sweetheart. I'm late. I sent my grandson to get a gas can. The guy told him they only had them for cars, not mowers. Really? Gas can's a gas can. I mean, you don't have to, just because you buy a 5-gallon gas can doesn't mean you have to put 5 gallons in it or 1 gallon. You buy a small little gas can, smallest one to have. You don't have to fill the thing all the way up. Gas can's a gas can. I hate the new ones. They have the nozzles you have to push in and twist and just so you can get gas out of it. That's because of morons, misusing gas cans for, bonfires or, and other stupid things, and then turn around and suing the gas can company. But there's ways around that. You can buy little kits to put actual breather valves in them and get rid of the entire neck and actually get a normal one. Turn a new safety gas can back into what the gas can originally was meant for, or how it functioned. Well, my husband sort of did that with his secretary, 4 kids involved in their mess, and he walked out and just took his clothes. 20 years of marriage, and he left everything, including our teens. Well, I'm sorry about that, Angelina. I really am. I really am. That has had to be devastating to you and to your children to do something like that. Wow, I'm sorry, Sherry. Your husband was shot and killed January 28th. They shot him twice in the chest and once in the back of the head, and they are still running free. Damn. In case I missed you, Colleen 41, I'm sorry, but good morning, sweetheart. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Oh, look at that twice. I thought Honey Bear was here. Well, I have 2 subscribers, and I always get them mixed up. I have Honey Bear, spelled Hunni, and then I have Honey B, Hunni, with just the letter B. I just saw the last part of your comment there, Mary. I was like, is she here? Because I thought Honey Bear is on vacation. She is on a cruise ship right now. She's been that's her screen name now. She used to go by was it Mary PHP PH P like PH, but PHPH. Mentally, if I close my eyes, I can picture a lot of people's names, the screen names. Then again, I have some people who change their screen names as fast as I can change my socks. Hard to keep track of some people. But yeah, I'm sure they have reasons for what they do. Yeah, be careful out there for sure. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Well, your husband too. And then they won the trial. He appealed to the Supreme Court. It cost me $100,000 to protect my children from their own father, but I won that appeal. Winning isn't everything. No cheating. Well, thank you for the super chat, okie dokie. I really do. Hope you. I really appreciate the donation, but I will be then in turn. I'm going to make another donation to Next Up for autism. I'm going to just turn around and give it away to them. Someday, my son is going to be in that situation where the money that we helped raise last night for adults who need after the age of 18 care for autism. My son's going to be there eventually someday. He's never going to, I mean, for people who out there who don't know, there's no cure for autism. You don't grow out of it. And it's after the age of, where we live locally, the day after my son's 18th birthday, they cut everything off. There's no social program. There's no training, nothing. And I have seen children, come to the point where of absolute tears, just bawling their eyes out because they know the next day is their 18th birthday. And they know they're going to lose their only social connections. They're going to lose their training, their job, or whatever may be happening with their to their ability. They're going to lose all of it. Imagine that on your 18th birthday, losing it all. Angelina, there's no reason to be sorry for babbling, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Again, I'm going to donate the same, to Next Up for Color the Spectrum for autism. But I couldn't imagine that, though. I mean, just being someone who has the ability to think, and be able to communicate within, to people in society, where my son is always going to have those barriers. What would that be like? And how is he going to feel? And how are all the other children feel? It's like on your 18th birthday, the next day, you can never go back to where you were before. Your safety net, your social circle that you developed all the way up to the age of 18. They just say, well, you're 18, goodbye. A lot of it has to do with funding. There's no money in it, to support programs like that. At least we have something like that until, my son's 18th birthday. A lot of places don't have anything like that at all. They don't have anything. Your oldest, your son worries you. Mark Robler, I'm getting a inner peace. I got the email this morning. I'm actually going to get a son. His son's going to write me a letter. So I did make enough of a donation to actually, get the letter from him. I'm going to frame it and put it up here on the wall once I get it. I'm going to put it in a frame that's got glass on both sides, so we can turn it around. You guys can see the color that he picks. But it's so cool. I'm so happy that I actually get I'm getting a letter from him, from Mark Robler's son. I didn't think I thought it was only for those who were in the top 100 who were getting the letters. And I think at the end of the night, you had to have donated over 500. And I didn't know if it was one donation that had to be 500 or if it was an accumulation of all the donations that we sent in, because we were sitting in here, and well, not here, like in my studio, but at the event we were hosting. But we were waiting till every time we got enough donations together for $100, then we made $100 donation and another $100 and another $100. But I thought it had to be, one donation of 500, but I know now because I got the email, that I'm getting the letter. So I can't wait either. It's so cool though that his son loves to do that. Crystalina Bacteria, good morning. Welcome to the stream. If you gave funding for autistics here, we couldn't give money for transgender programs in Pakistan. All right, I'll read that again. If you gave funding for autistics here, we couldn't give money for transgender programs in Pakistan. Well, that's true. I don't know about if you could give money to transgender. I've read a little bit about the different transgender in the things that happen to those who are transgender and gay in certain Muslim countries. Sad. They do some awful things. And it's not the religion necessarily that does it. It's just the people in general. You have good people and bad people everywhere. What do you think about the staircase and Michael Peterson? Do you think he did murder his wife? Now, just to make sure, Crystalina, Michael Pearson he's the gentleman who had two wives that died underneath mysterious circumstances, and his second wife fell down the stairs and died. Are we talking about the same person? I think I remember that case. It's just. Unfortunately, the only time I ever spent in Pakistan, I spent in the mountains, and didn't have much of an interaction with the general population, you could say. Yes. Do I think Michael killed his wife? I don't know. I haven't researched it a lot, but I can tell you this much from what I did read about that case and what I remember is. I would be highly suspicious of the fact that he had two wives who died underneath suspicious circumstances. His second wife, I think like if I had to put it on a scale of 0 to 100, I'd put it more closer to 80 that he did kill her and he shoved her down the stairs. But I would have to take a deep dive into it and actually find some documentation, read the actual coroner's notes and reports and stuff like that on the case, and familiarize myself more with what the events that happened around. But it's been a while since I've read about it. Anna Brown, good morning. It looks like Will's shirt is Kentucky blue. Love the color. It's the United States Post Office. I got this for free. Like, not yesterday, but the day before. I bought a shirt online and they were out of it. I waited and waited. So this is like 2 months ago. I waited and waited. They finally got it back in stock, and then they sold out of the size that I wanted, which is the extra large. And so they said, well, we're going to give you 25% off. And I had like 9 different shirts I could pick from, and for one for free. So I picked this one, and I got it just the other day, along with the shirt that I originally ordered. So, yeah, I think today is Saturday, so no, it'd been Wednesday, 2 days ago. La Man. Is that the case where the weapon was found hidden in the attic later on? I don't think so. Michael Peterson was the last person near both ladies. Yeah. Do you pronounce it Kobita? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm really sorry about that. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I fumble over my own name sometimes. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce your name. But you said what killed them? Pakuja? Pakuja? Uh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to mispronounce your name. It's Polish. Yes, it is Polish. But do you pronounce is it, am I even close? Kobita? Kristalina, I haven't seen the photos in a while, and maybe it has. Yes, it's close. Well, either way, welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Hey, cement shoes. not to marry anyone. What about your better half? Huh? Don't you two want to tie the knot? Well, I hope it helps you inner peace. I hope you find some sense of closure and relief. At least if nothing else, inner peace, you're taking the steps yourself to try to find something that will help you, and that you should be committed for in itself. We're allergic to rings and vows. It works. If it works for you, cement shoes, then then keep on doing it. I have my best friend, not Tim, but my best friend. Him and his they call themselves husband and wife. They don't wear rings, and they have been together for 37 years in a monogamous relationship. Both of them were both married once before. It was tragic for both of them, and they didn't work out at all. So they both decided that they just want to be together, and they have their own personal, understanding of their relationship. And they have such a mutual respect for each other. It works. It works for them. It really does. And at the end of the day, all it is just a piece of paper. And a piece of paper isn't going to make somebody do something that they don't want to do. So, yeah, there's a vow, and you're taking, an oath, that there are people, you can put the religion in it or take the religion out of it. But at the end of the day, as long as you and your better half decide that you guys want to live in that relationship, and you guys don't want to hurt each other, is there anything else that needs to be done? Hey, Mel. 4119. And my name is Will Finley, uh, Irish. You're from you're Polish. Where do I live? I live in the United States. I live in Washington State. It's the west coast of the United States, one of the western states. I'm originally from Wisconsin, the dairy land of the United States, I guess you'd call it. You know, you just celebrated your 25th anniversary, married at 19. Well, congratulations, Colleen. And here's to many more. It's nice to meet you too. The best thing is to never get married at all. Next best thing is to get divorced. I'll be upfront and honest with everybody because that's all I know what to do. I've been married once before, and I've been divorced once before. Married and divorced. Uh, like an idiot, I got married when I was 18 years old. Worst decision I've ever made. It wasn't her fault that that it was the worst decision. It was. I was young, too immature, didn't have my head screwed on right, and when it came to trying to make decisions that were the better for the both of us, I didn't do very well there. I made decisions that were the best for me, um, and it wasn't going to last. I mean, the writing was on the wall before we ever got married. I mean, literally going into the church the day of my wedding. You know, they at the doorway entrance they had my wife to be my new soon to be in-laws, father and mother standing outside. My mother and her fiance were standing on the other side of the door greeting people as they came in, and right there in front of everybody, my mother looked at me and I came up to the door before we walked down the aisle and said, "Are you sure you want to marry this bitch?" That was my mother said that. Everybody in the church turned and looked right at us. And I was just like, wow, you just said that. Carla got married when we were 19 years old. The best thing that happened to me. A wonderful man and a good father. He passed away when he was 37 years old. I'm sorry about that, Carla. It's never easy to lose someone, especially that close to you. Same, he was nice until I got pregnant with and lupus. Still worked because I was the money maker. The second baby with lupus worsened. He had no empathy for illness. No, no, it was. I mean, there's a whole series, to it all. Just bad decisions I made, bad decisions she made. We let other people, into our lives, who shouldn't have been there, and not like adultery. It was we let other people influence our decisions, and our happiness. Um, we got married, me and my first wife, and we moved about 400 miles away to get away from everybody. But it didn't matter if we would have been moved 400 or 4 million miles away. We never could have gotten away from the people who ultimately were the wedges that drove between the two of us. But in hindsight, though, it worked out for the best. If it wasn't for being divorced, and then coming home on leave, I never would have met my wife now. And I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life right now today. I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life with anybody else. And it sounds corny, but it's true. She does, fulfill me, and she is the best part of my life. Well, next to my children. I love my kids. Yeah. It makes us stronger and it makes us better. You're absolutely right, Anna Brown. Absolutely right. Glowworm, how did I meet her? Well, I had just come home on leave. I was moving from one duty station to another, but I had about a month and a half in between, when I had to, get everything moved and get, to the next place. And I'd come home and I was hanging out with my sister, my youngest sister. I had four sisters. I had two older sisters and two younger sisters, and I'm the middle child. Well, of those who were close to me here, there's actually more extended half sisters and brothers and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. But I was hanging out with the baby sister, and I say she's a baby sister, but at this time she was probably like 23 or 24, right in there, somewhat. And I'd come home and I was hanging out with her, and she said that her and a bunch of her friends were going out to a bar, and would I like to go? And I was like, I guess. I mean, I don't have anything to do. She said, okay, I'm going to have my friend Crystal come by and pick you up. And I was like, okay, when? And she said, well, she should be here about 7:00 to pick you up. So I'm sitting there and waiting. 7:00 comes. Nobody shows up. 7:30. Nobody shows up. 7:45. This 1970s, I think it was a 77 or 76 Volkswagen Super Beetle pulls up in my mother's driveway. Now this thing is blue, safety neon pink, green, gray primer, black. I mean, just about every panel on this thing is colored something different. And I'm like, I'm not getting in that car. I mean, that's literally the first thing that came to my mind. I'm not getting in that car. I walked up to the car, and well, my wife, now is behind the driver's, wheel, and another friend of my sister's is in the passenger seat. Gets out and flips the seat forward so I can get in the back, and I'm like, is this thing safe to even be on the road? And she's like, yeah. Think about it for a minute, and I'm like, what else am I gonna do? Sit at home, watch television? So I got in the car and we went to a bar. I sat there, I ordered a beer, and the entire time that I was there, I'm sitting there listening to my sister's friends talk, and I'm keeping to myself, and I'm like, these people are idiots. They have no life experience at all. And the only thing that that makes them want to do anything is they want to talk about which bar they go to next and which nightclub they want to go dancing and they want to go bowling. And I'm like, I'm not interested in any of that stuff. Why am I here? But then I started arguing with my wife. We absolutely argued like cats and dogs for like a month. I mean, I went home that night, and every time I saw her, we'd argue back and forth. We debated each other intellectually. She'd pick one side of an argument, and I'd pick the other side, and not necessarily on purpose. I think she really did, believe in what she was talking about. But that's how we met, and we've been together ever since. So my daughter is 23, 24. I thought she was 24. Apparently she's 23. In my old age, I can't count, apparently. So she's 23. So we've been together 26 years. Married 26 years now. Bye, Toxic Orchid. Colleen, your wife must be a great partner. She is. She really is. It hasn't been easy for us, when we first got together and we first were dating, and then we first moved in to our first rental home. We didn't have two nickels to rub together, and that is the honest truth. There's people out there who they make it. They're living paycheck to paycheck. We couldn't make it. We thought we were making it good if we can make it paycheck to paycheck back then. And through hard work, education, and everything else, we've gotten to where we are today. Moving to worst place on earth, North Dakota. Anna, I will. That were true. Moving to the worst place, North Dakota, being from Cali. I need to get out of here ASAP because of the cold. It's killing my lupus. I have more than 1 year to get through. I'm sorry that North Dakota is not good for your lupus. I love North Dakota. Spent a lot of time. Well, not this past year, because of the COVID crap, but I spent a lot of time in North Dakota. I have family that used to live right there at the border of North Dakota, Minnesota. Where'd they move to? I have to think where he moved. He didn't live in Fargo. He lived in a small suburb of Fargo. But I'm trying to remember where he moved to. I mean, I only saw the guy like twice a year. I'd see him on the way to Wisconsin, because I would drive 90 to 94 and then down, and then I'd see him on the way back, like maybe about a month later. I'm trying to remember where he moved. Man, I should probably email them and find out. It's hard to keep track of extended family like that. But I love the Dakotas. Marriage takes work. It definitely does. Just like anything in life, marriage takes work. Um, you know, if I could tell one, give everybody one tip out there for for a good marriage is mutual respect and never go to bed angry. Never take your anger or resentment or anything to bed. Sleeping on it and talking about it the next day is never going to get you anywhere. But yet everything starts with mutual respect. Number one, never make it about them, not you who did this. It's this, the actual event or whatever, that is upsetting to you or cause of the argument or disagreement. Respect. Trust my will. I lived in Washington State for 10 years. I was fine. Fargo is where I live, and it's beyond cold. But see, that's the thing, though. I love the weather, of North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. I love that weather. I don't like where I am. Where I am, we get like a quarter inch of snow here. People freaking lose their goddamn minds. I'm sorry for you for saying that, but they do. They lose their minds over a quarter inch of snow, a dusting of snow. Another kid, I walked uphill both ways, ate dirt and was proud, and they never closed school. Whiteout conditions, 50 feet of snow. We had to crawl out of our chimney and eat the snow to get down to the doorway. All of that. It's all true. But I love the cold. Because I have my hyperthalamic in my brain was damaged, due to a head injury. So I can't regulate my body temperature the way like other people can. So when it's cold, my body's already running hot. So I'm like, I'm totally cool. When it's hot, my body temperature is running hot. So I have to really watch it in the summertime. And where I live now, I live in the semi-desert part of Washington State, where it gets up to 110, 115 sometimes, and especially during the month of July. That's why I always take off in June and I stay gone. I try to miss those 2 months of weather where I live here. Don't want to be anywhere near this place. It's the disease that it's taking me out. Yeah. Gayla, you picked a young spouse and trained him well. My wife is six and a half years younger than me, right in there. I would have to, not joking, I would have to get out a piece of paper and a pen and figure out, but I think it's 6.5 years. Because I'm just taking the difference between me and my youngest sister. So I have 2 sisters that are younger than me. My sister just beneath me in age is Dawn. Dawn is 3 years younger than me. So Laura has to be 5, because there's not 3 years between the 2 of them. Or is there 3 years? So either my wife is 6.5 years or 5.5 years younger than me. But I didn't train her, Gayla. My wife has trained me well, and I know it, and I'm okay with it. I like snow, adds spice to life. I like it to be one pick where the tracks will be forever. Everyone else after a heavy snow. Hmm. Don't hurt your brain. Yeah, Mel. That was. Did you see the steam coming out of them? Burp, burp. Where I live, though, we have 2 seasons. I mean, it's either hot or yeah, it's cold for like maybe a month, if that. There, most of the trees here don't ever lose their deciduous trees or their Russian olive, which I'm allergic to the Russian olive, the pollen from them. Get terrible hay fever, but they're actually trying to eradicate the Russian olives. They were originally brought here as a windbreak by farmers. We drive on foot in solid ice 6 to 7 months a year. It's like scary. My son took his driving test in a blizzard and passed. I took my driving test. I passed it the first time. I never had driver's ed. And I passed it the very first try. My sister, who's just younger than me, took it and failed it like 8 times. And where she took it in Minnesota, it's a closed course, so it's barbed wire fence around and chain link fence around the entire thing, so nothing can get in, nothing can get out, and it's just pavement, and the signs can actually change. They can change it to yields and stops and everything else, but she failed it 8 times. My mom taught me, and my dad taught me when I was younger. We lived on the farm how to, drive a tractor. So, I mean, I grew up driving a tractor or a farm truck on the farm itself. It was a Ford F-100, and I started helping out on the farm as soon as I could reach the pedals. And my dad actually put pieces of 2x4s on the pedals so I could actually reach them. That's how young I was when I started driving that truck. And when I got here, in order to how to learn how to drive stick shift car, manual, my mom, I used to play soccer, and I was actually pretty good at it. I played, it wasn't like semi-pro, it was a step just below that. But we were a traveling soccer team that traveled all over the United States. But I had to go to practice, and my practice was like 80 miles from home. And my mom would go there, and she'd have her friend follow us there. And then, after I get to practice, and she just tossed me the keys and say, "You want to get home? Here's the car. Here, drive yourself home." And then they'd leave. So I learned to drive a stick that way. Nothing like a crash course and trying to figure out how to drive a stick shift. I don't know why that's held for review. Oh, because short nights. You said get out of here, so it put it in review. Oh, this it's actually a planter. My wife got it for me. It had succulents in it, for Father's Day, or maybe it was my birthday. It Father's Day and Father's Day and my birthday. Every 4 years, Father's Day falls on my birthday. So I am a Gemini. Isn't the Derby coming up, Anna? The Kentucky Derby? I have never been into horse racing. And trust me, I wouldn't know what a racehorse looked like versus a Clydesdale. I wouldn't know what the difference is if it wasn't for my sister. My sister, Dawn, the sister is just below me in age. She used to have the the great grandson of Seattle Sleuth, the Kentucky Derby Triple Crown winner. She had the grandson of Seattle Sleuth, the offspring in that blood lineage. And a racehorse looks a lot different from a Clydesdale. So in case you guys don't know yourselves, a Clydesdale pulls a Budweiser giant wagon, and a racehorse is thin and fast. So you learned something new today. Terry Furman is a Scorpio, and welcome, Terry. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier and easily distracted. Welcome to the stream. I hope you both had a great week. No, I didn't quit, Terry Furman. I should. I can't. I'm streaming directly to YouTube today for two reasons. One, I couldn't get the StreamYard to work. I have to download some kind of encoder key or something that needs to be updated. So that's one. And the second is tomorrow I'm doing 3 live streams tomorrow total. So I'm on the free, you only get 20 hours total a month. So I'm going to run out of free time. And so I'm going to have to go back to the paid service. It's May 4th. See, I knew it was coming up. I don't know anything about racehorses. I don't bet on what they call them, the ponies, right? Bet on the ponies. I think that's right. They call it betting on the ponies. I've never done that. Anna Brown, you don't bet on the horse races? Well, when I had COVID, I certainly the hell didn't smoke then. I could barely even breathe without, let alone a cigarette. That's the worst thing that I could have done. Snowy Photography, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great weekend. I got to watch some more of your videos. In case you guys haven't checked out Snowy's Photography, look her channel up on YouTube. I really want to get it. I have a couple different editing software programs. Not Paint, but and stuff like that. But I find your videos very interesting. So guys, you have to check her out if you're interested in any of that stuff. I used to think going to the races was glamorous, but thinking how they probably treat those horses ruined it completely for me. Well, Cement Shoes, there's a gentleman that I follow on YouTube. So when I first started following his channel and his content, he was all about metal detecting, and his channel was called Deep Digger Dan, and he was he did metal detecting videos in Germany, France, the UK, Scotland, places like that. All right, but now him and his fiance Mazzy, They're the travel trolls on YouTube. They live in a caravan, which is a motorhome. They live in a caravan and they travel around now. But anyways, back when he was doing metal detecting videos, he used to work at a race stable at a race park, and he took care of the horses, and they actually take care of them very good because there's a lot of money invested in those horses. And I know from my sister's side of it, from when she got the great grandson of Seattle Sleuth. I mean, that horse was just for breeding. She never raced that horse, but she bred him. And whoo boy, the money that's involved in breeding a horse, especially something with a lineage of Seattle Sleuth. But she eventually ended up selling the horse altogether and getting out of that. But now my sister's into barrel racing. No, but they do Smith shoes. They take really good care of those horses. If you actually looked at what it costs to take from going from the baby horse all the way through their lifetime, and development and everything else, there's a lot of money in there, and they're not messing around when it comes to how well they treat those horses. They're not just abused or neglected at all. I mean, sure, there's probably people out there that do neglect their horses, but they're never going to be worth anything, and they're never going to be good at running. Treated well, yeah. Horses kind of freak me out, so I stay away from them. Snowy photography. I don't like horses because they smell like horses. That's what I always tell my sister. She always like, hey, can you drive my son out to the stable so he can feed the horses, or when she's out of town? And I'm like, sure, I guess. I'll take him out to the stable and I'll just stay in my truck. She's like, well, why don't you go and see the horses? And I'm like, yeah, they smell like horses. I don't want to go there. I used to go bareback riding when you were younger. My ex worked at Winfield Farms raising northern dancers. Oh, that's cool. I've seen that. I've been to the fair quite a few times in different events, rodeos and stuff like that. To more as a moral support for my sister and in her group. That's always interesting how they train horses to dance like that. You love horse riding? I don't think I would ever take up horse riding after what happened to Christopher Reeves. I mean, like, that was enough for me to never want to get on a horse. I think maybe in my lifetime I've done it once or twice, but like trail riding. But yeah, I'm not going to get into barrel racing or anything like that. Horses and whiskey. Yeah, isn't it? But it's funny though, where a lot of those whiskey distilleries are, they're dry counties. They can't even consume the alcohol that they produce there. Short Knives, tell Tim you helped clean the bathroom again. He laughed at me last time, but listen, you make chores easier. Okay, I'll tell him Short Knives. I don't know if he's going to be in town next week or not. Might be, but I'll definitely tell him. But tell you what, I'll just text him right now. All right. Short, nice, says, you help clean bathroom again. There. Texted him. Well, you'll respond back soon. Drowsy Doll 1964. Good morning and welcome to the stream. And Sunny Bono thing. That's sad. Yeah, but it's true though. Downhill skiing, Sonny Bono, and horse riding, Christopher Reeves. Yes. You still have dry counties. I've only been to one place in my entire life that was in a dry county. It was in Texas. One side of the street you could drink on, and the opposite side of the street you couldn't drink on. So it was the most bizarre thing you've ever seen in your life. You go into town at night, and on one side of the street, you'd see people all over the place, and you couldn't find a soul across the street. And Natalie Wood makes you steer clear of water. All right. Short, nice. Tim just texted me back. Huh. Still going to make fun of it. That's Tim's reply. Huh. H-U-H. I'm still going to make fun of it. How you like cleaning stalls? Yeah. I will. I texted Tim, Mary. I said, Mary, Gone Girl, says hello. I tried to put Gone Girl in there without the space in there, and I had to change it to all caps because it wouldn't let me type Gone Girl. Tim texted me back and says, "Hi, Mary." So tell him Cement Shoe says, "Tim." He said hi Mary, but then the next one after that says he is at Fred Meyer's right now. That means he's probably grocery shopping. That's where he goes grocery shopping. Fred Meyer's is part of the Kroger family of stores. So you may have a Kroger. They have different names across the United States, but out on the West Coast here, mainly they're known as Fred Meyer. Drowsy Doll, 1964, from Alaska. All right, said hello from Drowsy Doll, and from Cement Shoes, Tim. The Mariana Trench in it. I went cliff diving once, Cement Shoes, and I jumped off the first time I jumped off the cliff. I had no idea if there were rocks there that were going to tear me to shreds or what. It was in the Cascade Mountains. I went cliff diving into an ocean, but a mountain runoff river. I did it because I wanted to jump into the river to cool down after a long hike that we had gone on. Young and stupid. I think I was 16 or 17 at the time. I almost drowned, that's for sure. Tim says hello, Cement Shoes. And Drowsy Doll, hello from Alaska. He says, Alaska? He wants to know what part of Alaska you're in. Our friend Dave is up there right now. He builds cabins in remote areas, but he's just curious, like, what part of Alaska you're in. Yeah, I definitely jumped in without cement shoes on. Wasilla? I don't know where that is. Is that that's part of it, somewhere in Alaska? I think our buddy is somewhere near. Um, I don't know. I really don't know where he is in Alaska right now, building cabins, because when he's up there, he's off the grid most of the time on purpose, and because there's just no Wi-Fi or anything there. M. Brudeau, good morning and welcome to the stream. I hope you had a great week. Is it you pronounce it? Is it pronounced Brudeau, like Anthony Brudeau? Brudeau, or maybe you pronounce the U as a who? Brudeau. Maria from Dawson Creek, British Columbia, Canada. Well, good morning, Maria. I saw the depth indication marks on the pool wall. It went down like 10, 15, 20, 25, and then there was still more. Wow. Boudreaux. Boudreaux. Okay. Brudeau. Boudreaux. I will try and remember that. It's very pretty in Alaska, Colleen. Any Newfies, like from Newfoundland? Is that a Newfie? Have I ever met anybody from Newfoundland? I'm pretty sure I have. Um, and none that that strike me right off the top of my head, short and nice. I mean, well, I know where the hell does she live? She's in Canada. Is she there? She's got to be really close to it though. I thought for the longest time she was in America. But she could be in Newfoundland. I was trying to say crazy in Italian. You're afraid of heights, Kelly? Connie Kelly? I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, if I wouldn't say I'm afraid of it though, but I mean, I just don't like putting myself in situations anymore than that I don't have control over. Now, be it out in the ocean on a charter boat, or being in a car that's going too fast, or going fast, or flying in an airplane, or being in the Space Needle, on the observation deck. It's that putting myself in situations where I don't have control. I'm not a big fan of that. It's like if something goes wrong, I want to be able to have a quick exit, you know of my choice. I'm on an airplane and the engines are going out and things going to crash. Don't have much of a choice of my exits on that. Being on the Space Needle in Seattle and looking out over the city, and then an earthquake comes. I don't have a quick exit from that. Oh, I'm not sad. I mean, I'm old, I'm worn out, but I'm not sad. I'm actually having a pretty good day. Had a great week. Helped raise a lot of money for a very worthy charity last night. I got a pretty good night's sleep. I've got a very hectic week, today and tomorrow coming up, but I'm good. I'm good. But thank you for caring. Connie Kelly, you're a big sissy. Your fiance wants to jump out of a plane on our wedding day. I told him to go rub rock salt. Well, hey, don't feel bad, Connie Kelly. Tim, Tim was supposed to go skydiving with me, and he didn't. Chicken shit. And I'm talking about him, not you. Him. Yeah, but we have a like a bucket list of things that we're going to do. Where we're trying to get each other out of our own comfort zones, do things that you would never want to normally do. And these things were picked out of a hat. And basically like, okay, here's all the things that we've always wanted to do or we thought about doing, but we just never had the courage or the time or whatever the reason might have been that we never did them. And we threw them all in a hat, and then we picked them out of the hat. And the first one that got picked out of the hat was doing stand-up comedy. I did it. I didn't do it just once. I did it a total of 4 times, and I emceed. I was the master of ceremony or whatever you want to call it. 2 more additional times at a stand-up comedy house. I did it. I got without knowing anything about comedy at all. I wrote out the jokes. I tried to figure out the timing. I will tell you right now, I wasn't very good at it, but I did it. I can cross that off my list of things that I've wanted to try, and I can see how it can actually become, very enjoyable and why some people do it. and it becomes a lifelong obsession because the first time nerve wracking, second time got better, the third time it was it wasn't necessarily as many laughs. It was just a lot of people thought that I was just really peculiar, and because of my timing and everything, they thought that all of it was a joke. Little they knew I didn't know anything about what I was doing, but I did it anyways. So I can cross that off my list. The next thing that got picked out of the hat was skydiving, and Tim wouldn't do it. So skydiving is fun. I've done it a couple times in my life. Well, besides the times that I was in the service. Good morning, Rupo. I thought that was him. I was like, maybe he's watching this. But if you don't want to go skydiving, don't do it. Do you. Be you. Did you get mad at Minnie Mouse? What did she do to get time out on the table? Oh, this is my son's. And he comes in here in the afternoons while I'm researching cases that I'm actually working on, and he'll sit here at all right. I'm going to move the camera. So I'm right here. That is his laptop right there. It's a purple laptop. So he'll sit there, and he works on his it's a spelling game. He's spelling words like tree and bee, and I mean he's in kindergarten. He's not even in kindergarten. He won't go into kindergarten for a couple more months, but he'll sit there, and that's his toy. It's not mine. He's got a Minnie Mouse, and he's got the Mickey Mouse that are both plastic. I'm sure there's other toys in here too. Here's a piece of sidewalk chalk that he has left in here. And right here is an entire, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's a stack of quarters. There's quarters, some nickels, some dimes, and pennies there. Working on counting with him, and it gives him something he can actually hold on to. And we line him up on the trying to show him, the how much like a nickel plus a penny is how much. So there's probably other things in here too that are his. I mean, I know there are. I mean, he left his water bottle over there on the floor. It is good. Nice to hear that you had a nice time. Nerve-wracking, but I enjoy it. It's the best. You have to get outside yourself sometimes and challenge yourself to do something that you might not necessarily be comfortable with, as long as you do it in a safe manner. Go to you, Will. I can see you doing comedy, writing, and even acting. I've seen a few roles on TV. They've reminded me of you. Rupel, I have been an extra on a TV set. I think it was a like a love story or something like that. I was just in the I wasn't there to actually be an extra. They just liked the look of me and what I was wearing that day, so they had me stand at a newsstand like you'd find in like New York, or a major metropolitan area where they sell magazines and newspapers. I was an extra where I just stood there with a newspaper. I did that. I think I got paid like $75 or something like that. But I don't think I was ever credited for it. But I was there in the background. That was a while ago, though. No way I'd skydive, but I was thrown off a 300-foot cliff in Hawaii when you graduate from college on purpose. Somebody threw you off a cliff 300 feet. These, oh my God. Hope that's not like a ritual that people go through on purpose. I'm sorry that happened to you, Angelina. I wouldn't want to have that happen. Does Minnie have a hangover? No. Also got a selfie stick. This has got the mount on it, so you can put your phone. I never use it. Handle has tape on it because my son decided to tear the foam handle off of it for me, so I taped it back on. Gone Girl did, I did 2 shows on Man Alive when you were 16. Wow. I try. You know, and Mary, that's anything that any parent can ever do. You try your best. And I know that I'm not going to be successful in everything that I do, but as long as I try my best, and I'm there. Maybe I'm not rich. I'm never going to be able to give him everything that he needs in this world, but I do my best. I really do. And I've done the same thing for my daughter. Excuse me. Because I care. And I know that, someday, I'm going to be gone from this world, and the legacy that I leave behind is, a bunch of stupid YouTube videos and how well my son and my daughter are able to affect the next generation. So, yeah, I know what it is, Barry. Man Alive. Have you? Excellent. Yeah, it's got to be probably something else. They were locals and they jump off it all the time. I don't think I'd want to do that 300-foot cliff. No way. There are people who make Colleen. There are people who make their complete careers out of just being an extra, just being in the background, of TV shows and movies and stuff like that. That's how my daughter got started originally, was being an extra, and doesn't pay that bad, and then when eventually, the being an extra led her into minor speaking roles, and then being, I think they call it a featured extra or something like that. They have some kind of term for it where you're a recurring person in the background or being there. So for like on a TV series, she would, for one show that she was on, she was always in the background as a barista, and then she got a role as drunken white girl at bar or something like that. That's not kidding. That's how they titled the actual character originally, was drunken white girl at the bar. And then they actually gave her the name of Susan when they gave her a speaking role for that actual drunken white girl at the bar. And then that became a recurring character who actually popped up I think 6 times the entire season, first or third, first, second, or third season. But she eventually, she left that to do extra work on other TV shows and movies. So she might have another one coming up here that she's shown up for, did screen testing or whatever they call it. When it comes to what she does, she don't tell me a whole lot about it. But I know most of what my daughter does now is voiceover work. And a lot of voiceover work never gets credited correctly, or if at all, when it comes to IMDb. Unless you keep up your own IMDb page, doesn't even show up most of the time. They just list it as, the person who's in charge of sound editing, they'll list them, but they forget everybody else who worked underneath them or actually had did a huge part, or the voice actors. So, but she really enjoys it. I know, she just did one. It was for I want to say it was for a commercial it had something to do with healthcare. But it was like a 1-day gig, and she made like $300. So she went and got a tattoo the other day on her calf. It's got like barbed wire, an eyeball, and something else in it. But not bad. I mean, if you get paid $300 to do something, as simple as just hanging out on a movie set and being in the background, just standing there, why not? But she has a lot of travel expenses and hotel costs and stuff like that to deal with it. It's hard for her to do a lot of it nowadays because she lives so far away from there to where she is now. But there's a lot of movies that are being filmed if you're in the Portland, Oregon area, or live anywhere near there. A lot of movies are always, or in British Columbia, Canada. It's a good gig. You change your name like NK, like Nicole did. Cement shoes. If you were related to a notorious murderer. They don't. Why don't they come with a manual, Colleen? I think that the day that your child is born, they should hand you $100,000 in cash. They should hand you $100,000, a manual on how to raise these things, and and then send you on your way. Because children are not cheap. Just to feed them. I mean, my boy, geez, he's 4 years old and he's going to eat me out of a home. All he does is wants to eat, and he's just growing and growing and growing. Not like round, but height-wise, he's probably about. Well, on me, he comes to just a little bit underneath, right about my rib cage on me now, and he's only 4. He's going to be a big boy. Clothes aren't cheap. Nothing's cheap. In Victoria, British Columbia, a lot of them there. And they've actually set up a pretty good industry there because they want people, these film studios to go there to film. There's another place just outside of Helena, Montana, that is really big on they have a kind of a cottage industry just for outdoor scenery for movies. It's probably about I want to say 15 miles from Helena, Montana. A lot of movies have been shot there. Will you ever get to meet? Will we ever get to meet your son? Will? No. Absolute cut and dry, Gayla. No. Sorry. That's one of the things that me and my wife decided when I started this YouTube is to never put him on camera. He doesn't have the ability to really say if he wants to be on camera. His privacy is something that we hold very close. We never mentioned his school, the name of the school, and we never mentioned, certain aspects of any friends' names and stuff like that on purpose, because we don't know who else is out there watching this content or who's out there. Case in point, right now, me and my wife have a stalker who has been stalking me and her on all social media. She is lying to people, saying that she is someone of importance in one of the cases that I've covered, and she's not. Absolute lie, 100%. But she's trying to convince people to allow her to access to me and my wife, and we don't know why. We don't know what her end game is or why she wants to get a hold of us so badly. But it's been an ongoing battle where we've had to report her to just about every social media site out there. This comes with the game, ladies and gentlemen. Being out here in the public, eye, you get people like this who become, deranged, I guess. Maybe they are already just a little bit off kilter or whatever, and then they decide that they're fixated on you and your family, and they will never let go. And it can become seriously dangerous really quick. And unfortunately, this is not the first time this has happened. In the 2.5 years that I've been doing this YouTube, this is not the first one, and I know it won't be the last. So, but please understand that, though. We just don't want him out there, and his privacy is something that we want to protect. But see, the difference there, Gayla, is your grandsons are making the conscious effort that they want to be on YouTube. My son, right now, at the age of 4, he doesn't have that say, or where he can actually make a long-term decision. I mean, what 4-year-old does? Right now he's thinking, it's 10 o'clock here. He's awake, but he's making the decision. Well, what toy do I want to play with now? And do I want cookies while I play with this toy? That's as far in advance as his decision process is making right now. So I can't say, hey, you know what? There are a lot of people out there, though, who do. They use their kids on channels as what do you call it? To draw views, to draw attention. They're a pawn, in their entire game. It's like, I know I'll never become like a rising star on YouTube. And I say this, and people don't understand my actual view of it. I'll never become a rising star on YouTube because I refuse to play the game. I don't spam my friends or my contact list or, blow up, Instagram telling people to, come over and subscribe to my content. I like to stay in my own lane and do me. People like me or not. They enjoy my content or they don't. Just like the haters. Haters are going to hate Trolls are going to troll, and I'm going to be me. Probably a good idea, Connie. Yeah, yeah. I've been asked by someone who is actually a teacher of my sons, if I would document the actual development along the way, for progress that my son has been making, and I've even not even sharing it with anyone except for just us and his teachers. I decided not to even do that, and believe me when I tell you the last year has been leaps and bounds for my son in his development. He is a completely different child than he was a year ago. A year ago today, he probably had 4 words that he said. Now he probably has 80. I mean, he does say a lot of the same things over and over again, but we found certain things, development wise that that are really working for him. So we have huge hopes for the future for him actually to be able to learn communication skills and stuff. And again, a really big supporter of this channel and content, is a major help with that, who made a donation so we could buy something for him that really changed, the future of his development of speech. So, and I'm very, and I'll never be able to express my gratitude as much as I am. I could do it every day for the rest of my life, and it still wouldn't be enough. Well, I'm a doctor, pharmacist, and I think you have allergies bad. Well, I do. I know I do. I haven't taken my antihistamine this morning, but I definitely do. You're absolutely right, Angelina. Yeah. I was saying earlier, I'm allergic to the Russian olive trees that are in this area, and right now they're in bloom, and it's like this feeling in my, I have to take antihistamine just to get through it. Seasonal allergies, they suck. They really do. Terrible. Did you keep in contact with the lady who used to be a viewer and she murdered her parents? Yes. That is Deborah Martin. Deborah Martin has been ruled to be mentally incompetent to aid in her own defense. She was, in case the background, in case you guys missed Cement Shoes' comment, I had a subscriber who killed her parents. She stabbed both of her parents to death. And before she actually killed her mother, she killed her father first. Then while her mother was on the phone with 911, she stabbed her and killed her. But she has been ruled mentally incompetent to aid in her own defense. And going back before all that happened, though, I kind of knew there was something that that was going on because we had been in contact for off and on through emails and messages and stuff like that. And on StreamYard, you can have a pop out private chat. And when she was around, she used to say some things that were they're off the wall. And I don't know what her actual diagnosis was. officially, but I do believe that she may be schizophrenic. And I don't want, by saying that though, I want to make absolutely 100% sure that everybody understands not every schizophrenic is violent. People think of people who have schizophrenia as being violent individuals. It's not true. I know more than a couple, people who have an actual diagnosis of schizophrenia, and none of them are violent. My friend Aaron he's been battling schizophrenia pretty much since early adulthood, and when he's on his medication, you would never know there was anything wrong with him at all. But unfortunately, the body builds up a tolerance to some of the medication, and then they have to start a whole new regimen all over again. And a channel that, if you're interested in the actual topic itself of schizophrenia, that you can watch on YouTube is Living Well with Schizophrenia. Her and her husband, Lauren, and her husband just had their first baby, and so happy for them because they fulfill each other so much, and to find somebody that well is great. But back to Deborah. I am not allowed to contact her anymore. If she wants to write me, she has to get approval from her actual therapist where she's at now on the case. But she's not well. What am I drinking? Black coffee. It's Black Rifle Coffee. That's what all these stickers are. Black Rifle Coffee Company. Veteran owned with a mission. They give 15% of their profits back to the veteran community to help end homelessness of veterans across the United States. Plus, on top of that, they have several other programs where they employ or help veterans get treatment through drug and alcohol addiction that is may eventually cause homelessness or other reasons for them to be incarcerated. So that is two separate things the company has that they do. I may not believe 100% with their political agenda, but I support the company because, well, first off, it's good coffee. I love this coffee. And the other thing is I love that they give back to veterans, in need. So a company with an actual overall mission is something that I can support. So. I'm sorry about your mama passing, Anna. I drink new coffee, too high brewed coffee. Cement shoes. There's nothing wrong with Folgers. Trust me, for the amount of coffee that I drink, cement shoes, Folgers is probably a lot better of way to go than what I'm buying. So these are what $19 a pound, so $40 a month, delivered to my home. So and I drink probably 2 pots of coffee a day on the weekends. The rest of the time, I'm drinking Rockstar. I know none of it's good for me in the volume or the amount that I drink, but hey, it's my life. I like your cup. Thank you, Colleen. Anytime I see someone sad, I want to run away. Well, if it's going to emotionally hurt you, and it's going to put you in a bad position, you have to do what's best for you. So, but ladies and gentlemen, I have to, take off here. I have to return to golf course's phone call first off, and I have to eventually make a tea time for today. But I will see you all tomorrow, and or at least I hope so. But in the meantime, everyone, stay safe and have a great day today. And those who sent super chats today, thank you very much. I'm going to be donating the same exact dollar amount back to Color the Spectrum, and because I believe that they needed a heck of a lot more than I do. But I really from my heart to you, thank you very much for each and every one of them. You all have a great day today and stay safe out there.